If you've seen those videos where someone decides to show you how to build a $10,000 AI website in 10 minutes, you want to watch this video. You see, I've been using AI for a very long time now, and I use it for content outreach, client work, and even building out full websites. And there's three very important concepts that I need you to understand before building any $10,000 AI website. And then I'm going to show you three tools that you can download today for free that will actually help improve the website in very specific ways. So the first issue is that most traffic is not coming from desktop, and I'll show you actually how to figure that out later on. But majority of your traffic nowadays is coming from mobile. And so the thing is, when you're trying to make flashy animations on desktop, sure, they look great, but when you transition that over onto mobile, it just doesn't have the same effect. And in fact, the visuals that look great on desktop, they usually break and actually hinder your website more than you think. And so if you look at Jeremy Miner's Black Book offer, this has been stress tested with millions and millions of dollars. And so as you can see, there's common patterns across the examples I'm going to show you here, but it's very simple. There's no flashiness. It's just one headline. We have social proof across the top here. And then obviously our CTA, which is taking up majority of the space. And then we obviously have our guarantee, which is going to reduce risk. And so if we look at Daniel Isles' Viral Coach, he does millions per month. And again, it's a very simple layout. And an easy way to see how this would be on mobile, there's many tools out there. One easy way is just right click and go to inspect. And this is essentially how it's going to look on mobile, okay? And if you are doing content or social media or ads, you understand the importance of your hook. The headline up here is essentially your hook. If this is not crafted carefully, I'm not going to spend the time actually looking through the entire site. We can go to Alex Hormozi, for instance, and as you can see, a lot of them have similarities. And so this is linked down below. What I want you to do is come to File. You're going to make a copy, and then you're going to download it, okay? And then you're going to put it into Claude or any LLM that you use, and you're going to have Claude walk you through this process. And again, not to belabor the point, but you want to do this on mobile first because that's where majority of your traffic is coming from. And so you want to take these very important elements that are really going to move the needle. And again, a pro tip here is you actually want to pull it up on your phone first, and then you want to see the page speed and how it actually looks. And one of the few tests in this workbook is the phone test. Again, this is linked down below. What I want you to do is come to File. You're going to go make a copy, and then you're going to download, put this in Claude, and have Claude or any LLM walk you through this exact process. So understanding that mobile is king when it comes to website traffic, but you want to understand, and this took me a very long time. And historically, I would like to do the flashy things as well because you think that's going to improve conversions. And you can talk to any marketer that is A/B testing their landing pages, and they will tell you the boring stuff converts. This is pretty boring. Again, it's a simple layout. This is screaming at you. We have some social proof. We can go to each and every example, and this is nothing crazy. This is very doable, and we can even look at Hyros here, and it is boring, but it works. It's easy to consume. It's easy on the eyes. And so one thing I want you to do is actually put yourself in the viewer or the user's perspective, right? So if I'm coming on a web page, I have a problem. So if we look at Daniel Isles here, for instance, I have a problem that I need solving. And a lot of these flashy AI gimmicks are not really solving my problem. I'm not here to look at flashy animations. I'm here to solve my problem that I have. One pitfall to avoid, and one thing I always used to do is you don't want to judge your website based on how you feel or how you feel showing it to others. You want to sell it to the owner or to the problem. Again, those examples show it off quite well. So you want to come back to your workbook. Test number 4 is the friction audit. This is very important, and this helps you really understand where there's friction. And as you know, friction kills everything. So a lot of people are doing full screen videos. And again, that necessarily does not convert over to mobile and slows down your website a lot. So one strong still image, you can just have plain text without any effects. You can just have the page here instead of intro animation, but I want you to go down this list to understand the friction that you have that you might not be aware of, which leads us to point number 3, which is the alignment problem. See, when you're trying to be flashy or using all these AI animations, ultimately there is something called the alignment problem. Again, these builds do not line up with what your customer or ICP needs, and in fact it's a disservice because that's not truly what's going to move the needle for their problem. And really, they do not care that something's flashy on the site. For instance, if we're looking at Viral Coach here, we ultimately understand, and he has aligned this page for the ICP. And again, the VSL, if we were to watch this, is completely aligned with the ICP and what they're kind of going through and how they're going to solve that problem for me. And with all these examples, not once do we see flashy AI animations going around. And so if you take 2 websites, your ICP is going to act on the one that is most clear and talking to them. And so if you come back to the guide here, there's 3 key questions I want you to go through. What does someone need to know before they contact you? And I'm telling you, each and every website that we have demonstrated here have gone through these 3 questions. So is it price, timing, area, whether you'd handle their problem or not? Those are very important for you to get clarity on so that you can provide immediate clarity to your ICP, and then go to your actual site on your phone and see if these questions are being answered. And again, the easiest way to do this is come to File, Copy, download it, put it in Claude or any LLM that you're going to use, and get these LLMs to help you work through this workbook. And so these are 3 tools, again, linked down below, that you can actually download for free, that can actually give you the data to understand what to do next, because it's super important. This will help conversions as well. So one of them is Microsoft Clarity. This is very beneficial to have. All you're going to do is basically just set up an account, take the code, put it in your website, and this gives you session recordings so you can understand consumer behavior. This is going to give you heat maps to understand where they're clicking if there's confusion. This even gives you scroll depth to understand that no one is really scrolling on your website. So that's what this is here. Again, rage clicks, dead clicks, scroll depth, where everyone stops. Very important data to have. And then we have Google Search Console. The reason you want to actually set this up is because you want to see the gap between what you sell and what people search. So a lot of the time you're going to spend hours and weeks, now with AI you can do it very quickly, on your website. And the fact is, not too many people are actually going to land on it, and that's what Google Search is going to help you with. So you can come here and understand how many impressions on your website, total clicks, which just, again, gives you more data. Lastly, we use Vercel, and this is what we use for hosting, and it's great for speed. And so the reason you want to go through that friction audit as well, again, link down below, is that this is going to severely hinder your speed. And so if you look at the research, if you have low speed, are just going to bounce before even having this website load. And just a pro tip here is that you want to actually install Microsoft Clarity and Google Search Console first before changing anything to your site, because you want that data to make the appropriate next steps. And if this video made you realize that the issue isn't necessarily with the AI, it's how you're using it, I made a full video of my unfiltered advice for people using AI, and you can watch that here.